afraid, Mr. Welch, I disagree with you on your fundamental premise. I'm afraid the argument doesn't quite hold. Oh, I do apologise. It's rather easy to get oneself lost in a history book. My name is Claudius Buckle, and today I'll be discussing my research project, the Third Reich, a social construction of a leader and a people through propaganda. Let's get started, shall we? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all?
Good, thanks.
That's splendid, my fellow readers of history, German, Italian and philosophy. Please, do all have a look at the propaganda material I provided you with today. Grace Roy.
Yeah?
After reviewing the propaganda material of our politics today, what were your thoughts?
Well, I found them quite interesting. What we had in front of us was quite a lot of right-wing policies, I guess you could say. So I guess the bright colours, the use of bullet points to keep it simple, because a lot of times these days people aren't very interested in kind of long, lengthy pieces of policy, so they're just not interested in it. So I think it's quite clever to keep it short and simple, which is what they've done here.
And what do you think about when you think of propaganda?
Propaganda in general, I would say, is, well, it's advertising basically. It's designed to be influential, so that's what I think of in particular. So there's a lot of bright colours or just kind of certain images that people will identify with certain things, I guess.
Hello, Barnaby. How do you do?
I did fine, how do you do?
Not too bad. I do apologise. I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think of when you think of a Nazi German propaganda in relation to the Führer or leader and the German people?
Well, Nazi propaganda seems like a very religious institution. It's a mass indoctrination of the people. It's almost industrial in its effort to convert people to Hitler's side. Yes, so there seems to be an almost religious, cultural aspect to the indoctrination of people towards anti-Semitism and towards this sort of racial notion, this Aryan superiority, most definitely. So yes, this worship of the nation, this Aryan supremacy ideology, and this mass dehumanization of the Jewish people is something very particular to Nazi propaganda.
Hallo?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Wie geht's?
Sehr gut. Und Ihnen vielen Dank für die Einladung.
Dankeschön. I had a rather interesting question for you, certainly as a German. How do you feel German Nazi propaganda resonates with people today, and how do you feel this propaganda was used to socially construct a people and a leader?
Well, I feel like even though it's about 50 years ago, it obviously still affects the people nowadays, especially in Germany.
Yeah.
Wherever you go in Europe, people still think about it, because even though it's 50 years ago, but it's still just a hand clap away from what's happened, really. And I think it affects people in certain ways. It's quite a negative thing, isn't it? And it's just what the Germans have to carry around now, on their reputation, and it's just, yeah, it's quite hard to explain, because obviously coming from a German's perspective, it's can be quite, don't want to say annoying, but obviously you're like, when people think about Germans, they think about Nazism, they think about Hitler, they think about all these negative things, but what they don't think about is what's happened since then. And yeah, so and yeah, don't know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Holt.
Thank you very much.
David Welsh, in Nazi propaganda, stated that it has fascinated many historians ever since the collapse of the Third Reich at how such a fringe party was able to win free elections and also to create, and I quote, such an expansive German empire in the space of 12 years. This certainly fascinates me also. Hence, I selected this research project. I shall focus on 3 primary sources. The first of my primary sources is a speech by Dr. Joseph Goebbels on propaganda. This source is useful because it states what the Nazis believed propaganda to be. It also states what they considered good propaganda to be, and also propaganda in relation to political life. My second primary source is a film by Helena Riefenstahl entitled Triumph des Willen, or Triumph of the Will. This film is a useful primary source because it was commissioned by Hitler and therefore shows what the Nazis wanted themselves to be depicted as. This film is also useful as it shows how Nazis explored new media. My third primary source is an extract or political cartoon from Der Stürmer, or the Stormtrooper. This newspaper was run by Julius Streicher, a virulent anti-Semitic in a Nazi regime. This source is particularly useful because it demonstrates how the Nazis created insiders and internal enemies amongst the German people. I do hope you enjoy my research project. Cheerio, and good day.